Welcome to the 3D Ghost universe, a place dedicated to 3D creation and 3D printing. This video will be part 2 about creating a multicolored 3D printed object. And this time we will create a multi-parts object that you will be able to print in various color parts by part. We will work with the object created in part 1 in order to modify it and to create a multi-part object. How to create an object with 4 colors that we will print in 4 parts. It's quite easy, you will see. The key is to create, because you can print 4 parts and gluing them together, but it will be difficult to glue them exactly where you want, where it is on your screen. So I think that the best way to do this is to create like a Lego style, something that this floor will go inside this floor a little bit and you will glue it. So, for example, I will hide this piece. I will go to this one in edit mode. Then I will choose face with 3 and then I will go to this face and I will extrude it -0.5, for example. Okay, so it's not minus, it's 0.5. No, still not. Okay, extrude. Okay, I know what is the problem, sorry. I will undo everything and I will stop the snapping tool. So now it will be possible for me to extrude properly. So I'm still on the Z-axis. I decided to go 0.5. It's quite huge. 0.05. It's almost invisible. No, I made a mistake. 0.05. Okay. So now, if I'm unhiding this piece, I will go to wireframe mode. As you can see, we have a part of this one inside this one. Another way to see that, go back to solid mode. We are in editing mode, edit mode. I'm taking a look with the transparency mode, the X-ray mode. Sorry. And as you can see, there is a part inside this one. So if I'm working with a modifier called a boolean, I will take this one, will go to the modifier, to the boolean, and I will take a difference. So I will say that I want this object to be cut. The difference of the two objects to be cut from this one. So if I'm applying it, I will have a shape in order to put this floor into this one. So maybe I will hide it and then you can see the effect of the boolean. Sorry. Okay, I'm happy with that. I will apply it and I will do the same operation for all. So now I have 4 elements that will fit together and that I can print. And then after printing, I will simply have to take a part and to put it inside this one. With a little piece of glue, it will be perfect, it will be okay. In theory, because you will probably, maybe, have to rework a little bit because we have done an exact cut of the size. But if you want to be completely safe, it's good to add a little margin to your cut. So we will undo. So for example, before creating the boolean, we will add a little more size to this part. So we will duplicate it. we will maybe we'll change the name. You will say printable 4, you will hide it, and you will use the other one to create a bigger hole in this part. So to do this, you can take a little margin. For example, you can take, if we are saying that we are working with 0.3 millimeters, you can add maybe the size of the nozzle. So we will work in millimeters, 0.004, okay, plus 0.004, okay. As you can see, it increases the size. We will do the boolean to the cube number 3, not the printable 4, remember it. We will apply it, then we will hide this one, and we will unhide the printable 4, and as you can see right here, you have the little margin. So maybe if it's not perfect when you will print, if you have a little trouble with the size of the nozzle, it will be okay. We can grab it on the Z-axis. Here we go. You will have the possibility to place your object like this. So when I want to print things in multipart with multicolor, I'm always adding a little margin. If I'm working in millimeters, I will add the size of my nozzle, but it's not a rule you have to do and to adapt to your object. So now that you are okay with your work in Blender, it's now time to export it in order to open it in MultiColored Cura and create the G-code. So we have to select what we want to export. But before exporting, remember that dimensions are not the same in Blender and in Cura. You will have meters right here, but this is millimeters in Cura. And of course, 0.3 millimeters, it will be really too small. So I will do a scaling by 10 on my numpad. Okay. It's much bigger, and now it's an object that MultiColored Cura will be able to open correctly. So let's go to File, Export, STL. Of course, we will decide to name it Part, for example, Parts. We want to export only the selection. We don't want the Q.003, for example. And plus, we want to export everything in one time. So we will select batch mode on object, because by default it will be on off. So object, if you decided to choose off, it will create only one STL, no parts. We want each part with an STL, so object, export. And now in my folder, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. For example, printable 4, the top, open it in MultiColored Cura. Here we go. It's small, but it's not so tiny as we can imagine without changing the scale, because it's good, it's 3 millimeters. Of course, in Blender, it's 3 meters. If you don't want to be confused about it and not work in meters, just take a look at the video. I'm putting a link. So now that we are in Blender, it's classical. You can choose the profile, you can create the G-code, and you will be able to print this part, maybe in green. Open another part that you will print in white, etc., etc. You understand the point. So creating a multi-parts object, cutting your object in order to print it with various color is a good solution, but you will need to have a filament of each color, and of course you will need to adapt your way to create the object in order to create the multi-parts. So I truly believe it's a good solution, and the other solution will be to print the object in one color and to work on it with painting, acrylic paint for example. And this post-processing is of course the most artistic way to work with your 3D printed object, and if you want more information about it, you can find on the channel right now or very soon, information about the materials I'm using, some workflows, and some tutorials.